Jason and Jenny Armstrong heard that the orcas were back off the Southern California coast, and they wasted no time to get out and see these magnificent creatures.
Aha! Good morning, fishermen. This is Sean, San Jose del Cabo. We're going out today. It's a little windy. Oh boy. But we're still going for it. We're gonna get some sardines today and see what kind of bounty we can catch. Full day though, still a little bit of freaking sea breeze here. But hope everybody's doing good. Come on down, join us. Get your bucket lit fish. Dorado, big Dorados, Mexican Dorados, giant marlin. Oh yeah. Talk to Phil. Get a couple guys, get about 6 guys, and come on down. Better than a long range trip. Get off the boat. Go party. All right, everybody, good morning and good luck. Sardines for tuna. Big tuna. Pay attention before you hit the freaking rocks, I'll tell you that. God dang, Sean.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, this lovely Wednesday morning. It is beautiful. It's not as cold. It's still chilly down here for us little babies in Southern California, but it's a lovely morning. The wind is just starting to pick up. Ocean looks pretty darn nice, actually, back behind me, but we have some inclement weather that I'll be telling you about here in just a moment, headed our way in the next 24 hours. And it's nasty already in some areas, but it's going to get even nastier as we move along. Hey, we're going to go down to Mexico. We'll take a look at Land's End, Cabo San Lucas, Loreto, and other Baja venues. We'll also come up, of course, to this side of the border, and we'll look at what's going on here in the surf. Hey, good morning to you. Good to see you. We'll take a look at what's going on here in the surf. We'll take a look at our exceptional wintertime bass fishing. We'll check out the long-range scene and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Warms your soul. Hey, wait. There's a few drops starting to fall here. I know I looked down there toward Huntington Beach, and it looks like it's raining down that way right now. I didn't see that in the forecast. Hey, isn't that my job? Hey, if you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. It helps us so much. Also, if you could share these videos with a friend, that would be greatly appreciated. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. And also subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel right now. Hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So great to be with you all. How about that lead in? Man, I'll tell you, these orcas have been entertaining us now since December. It has been a remarkable show. Jenny Armstrong and Jason Armstrong got out along with a lot of other people to see those orcas yesterday. What a sight! I mean, that is an incredible sight. And if you get to get out and take advantage of that, with the great whale migration going on right now, I highly recommend you do it. That is something you'll never, ever forget. Probably something people will never, ever forget also, and I digress for a moment, but did you hear about the guy that in Leeds, Alabama, ran into a pole out in front of a Bass Pro shop? And I guess normally when you hit a pole, you get out of your car, take your clothes off, and run into the Bass Pro and jump into the giant bass tank. That's what this guy did. And somebody made a comment, one of the news commentators, that there might be some mental illness involved here. Yeah, you think? Anyway, we were talking about a sight that you will never, ever forget. Those poor people probably will never forget that either. What went on in Leeds, Alabama, and those poor fish, they have got to be traumatized. They definitely need to seek some counseling for the fish there at the Bass Pro Shop tank in Leeds, Alabama. All right, let's get into it with you. Let's go down to Mexico. You saw Sean Morgan down there goofing around as usual. Hopefully, he'll come up with a good catch. The Wild in Sac is such a great ride out of San Jose del Cabo. That's very near Cabo San Lucas. And I'll tell you, man, he will give you a trip you will never forget. Most of the time, you're going to catch fish. Even when you don't catch anything, you'll be highly entertained, both on the boat and with the after party when you go off with him and have some fun. So Wild and Sac down there in Cabo reporting that just a few miles outside of San Jose del Cabo, still good marlin fishing. There's an occasional wahoo, not that much. Some really good dorado fishing at times. Some good yellowfin tuna fishing at times also. Sometimes you miss. Most of the time you've been getting them. It's been pretty darn steady down there in Cabo San Lucas. Laredo, good wintertime yellowtail fishing going on in Loreto right now. I love Loreto. Has a sense of a small Mexican town. It's a beautiful place. La Paz. Still a few of those smaller rooster fish. Very early to see that kind of a signal. And also there's some dorado offshore, some yellowfin tuna. Kind of hit and miss. Same kind of a thing. It's pretty much all the way down there in that neck of the woods. Gorgeous weather down there. We get you up to the San Quintin area, which is only 140 miles down below the border, and they have some occasional good hits on the yellowtail. Some big bonito wandering around San Martin Island and in on the coast area. Good rockfish and some nice halibut also being taken down there. And out of Ensenada, man, I'll tell you, some really good fishing down there south of the border. We see those big bonita still down there. Blackfin sport fishing down there with my dear friend Victor. Some guys got out with him, and man, they walloped the big bonita. Look at all those fish. Great trip out of Blackfin sport fishing, and not only the big bonita, but they had the rockfish, and they also get an occasional yellowtail there. Also, we are seeing some good evidence of yellowtail, which bodes well for the upcoming day-and-a-half trips from San Diego that go down to Punta Colonet. That is 120 miles down the Baja coast. They have some really great yellowtail action this time of the year at times, and they also find themselves catching copious amounts of colorful and delicious eating, rockfish. It's really good down there. You take that to the bank if you have good weather pretty much, and then after that, you're looking for forkies, fish in the yo-yo iron with the 60-pound at least, and you can have yourself some fun. All right, long-range situation on this gorgeous morning. It is absolutely beautiful. The long-range boys are on mostly 16-day type trips right now, and there's several hundred miles down the Baja Peninsula, and they are finding some nice yellowfin tuna. Red Rooster 3 yesterday. Nice YFT bite. Kind of choppy weather down there, but nice fishing going on indeed. That is great to see. That Royal Polaris also same thing. They also have wahoo mixed in there with it, so they're catching who, and they're catching those big YFT, and at times they catch also some grouper and other species. But main focus is that big yellowfin, 100-plus pound. For the most part, sometimes you'll get them even bigger than that. Sometimes you'll get them over 3. And then the wahoo, also a sought-after species on these trips, and those boats are doing really, really well. Arriving right now at daybreak, the Independence out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. She is gorgeous. She is beautiful, and they are excited to be on the grounds. We'll keep you in touch with what the Independence is doing. Don't forget, right there, we have got our 5-day trip in April, and that promises to be a lot of fun with a lot of great options. I'm telling you, not only bluefin tuna in our sights on that trip, but that is the time of the year when the halibut bite has been insane. The bite in terms of white sea bass has been insane, and that is all in range of this 5-day trip. It could be a really great combo. Call the the Independent Sport Fishing Office right now and sign up, or just get some more information. I know you're going to love that. All right, up here in the Southern California area, whoa, that sunrise is spectacular. Man, it is beautiful. Here in the Southern California area, we are catching a lot of bass. I mean, the structure bass fishing. Structure meaning there's rocks or a shipwreck or some kind of structure down there where the wintertime bass, sand bass, calico bass have hunkered down. And man, it's been pretty darn good. The Monte Carlo with our friend Brian Burrell and Stephen Conradi and Walt. They've been doing great out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. Once again, 25 to 40 pound fluorocarbon. Brian Burrell says a big hook. He likes a 5-0 hook, maybe even bigger than that. And also live or fresh dead squid. They've been fishing a lot of 2-ounce sliding eggs type sinkers, but you can also use the lead head and do quite well. But we've seen from San Diego all the way up here to this neck of the woods some spectacular fishing. Matt Moyer with some good sand and calico bass. Marcus Fain has been doing really, really well on the bass also, as we see some good bass and sculpin fishing going on. Really excellent fishing. Guys fishing the bays have been catching spotted bay bass also at nighttime and even in the daytime. So there's been some really great opportunities. Rockfish season is closed here in Southern California, so keep that in mind. Can't fish rockfish right now, but you can go south of the border and catch rockfish there. You're able to take all the rockfish you want in Mexican waters. That's why the San Diego based boats can go down there. They can go down there now. So guys on a 3/4 day trip that want to focus on that can go across the border and do quite well down there on the rockfish. Or you can just drive down there, jump on a pongero. We mentioned blackfin. It's for real sport fishing. Our friend Arnie Man. There's a myriad of different opportunities and options available to you out of Ensenada. And even if you were to go down below Rosarito, just a few miles to Popotla, there's a little fish camp there with some restaurants and commercial fishermen. And those guys, if you talk to them, polish up your rusty Spanish, you can get them to take you out for a pretty economical price for sure. So a lot of opportunities available on the other side of the border also. In the surf here, Richard Cayo was down there around Huntington Beach fishing last night, and as the sun set, he caught a few nice barred perch, or I actually should say some smaller barred perch, but you're out in the environment, you're outdoors, it's gorgeous. Man, I mean, how can you beat it? And Richard takes advantage of it all the time. Way to go, Richard. Happy to see you doing that. There's been some yellowfin croaker. There's been a few spotfin croaker. There's birds picking bait. Right now, out of the surf, these little devils here are picking some bait. Good time to throw something like a Castmaster or a chrome crocodile or a Lucky Craft lure. Match the hatch. That is so important. And you'll come up with some barred perch. They'll bite that thing. Yellowfin croaker will also bite it. It's a great way to get bit here in the surf. Lobster fishing has been outstanding, everybody, especially at Catalina Island. But the local lobster crawl has been good from San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands. We continue to see the PromarAhi.com lobster report sizzle this year and last year because it has been really, really excellent. And I mentioned PromarAhi.com. They have so many great tutorials on that website. I highly recommend, if you're going looking for langostas sometime very, very soon, that you get tuned up on all that they have to offer. They will really tune you up with some great stuff. Hey, how about Shant Sarkisian? He's a great guy. A 3+ pound goldfish? Never heard of such a thing. Look at that thing, man. That thing looks like me a few years ago, or actually maybe even now. Well, I don't want to think about that. But anyway, Shant with that nice big goldfish. That's pretty incredible stuff, if you ask me. Really, really crazy stuff. In addition to all of what we've talked to you about, there is some good halibut fishing. We saw probably the best halibut year we've ever seen last year, and seen signals and signs that that halibut bite is going to be good again this year with that white sea bass. The reason I mentioned it for our 5-day trip on board the Independence is because it was off the hook. I mean, boats catching 30, 40, 50, 60 halibut here in Southern California. Not to mention up in San Francisco, where it was off the hook up there around the Golden Gate Bridge and surrounding area for boats like the California Dawn. But the halibut bite in California has never, ever been so good. And there's a lot of guys like the Native Son out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, that are running halibut-based type trips where they're focused on catching halibut. And a lot of these guys are providing great prizes and all kinds of stuff, like the Native Son, like Dana War Sport Fishing. Several other landings are doing it. I think the Dolphin down there out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. So a lot of focus on flat fishing. Halibut are great to eat, fun to catch. And when you add in all the competition and the fun that surrounds trying to win some prizes, It's going to be great. So that is something that is definitely in our future. All right, weather. The 600,000 pound elephant in the room. Yeah, it's going to get windy. It's a little breezy right now, not too bad. And this surf is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. You wait to see what this looks like tomorrow morning when I'm standing out here freezing to death in the wind, and it's going to get downright nasty. Channel Island area right now is bumpy, no question about it. And the wind line is out past Catalina Island. You can't really see Cat here this morning, but that wind line is out there. But it's going to encroach in here and get quite windy here right around sundown, I want to say. We'll start to see the wind. It'll blow pretty hard on the coastal regions up and down the Southern California coast from way above Santa Barbara to down to Ensenada, and beyond that, we're going to see that it's going to blow starting around sundown, really, really windy, and then last until tomorrow morning-ish, and then start to come down and mellow out, and then get back to some really nice and lovely weather, which is great. So hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed that that is all going to continue to head in the right direction. January the 21st, we are going to be at La Fogata Restaurant from 1 in the afternoon until 3 in the afternoon. It is going to be a lot of fun. The Friedman Adventures family will be meeting up for some great Mexican cuisine, but more important than that, we can all chat about fishing. I'll have our charter list available. If you want information on our charters, you want to talk about our charters, you want to sign up for a charter, you'll be able to do it at this great and special event. That is January the 21st at La Fogata Restaurant, Sherman Oaks, California, 1 to 3 in the afternoon. We will see you there. It's gorgeous. It's a little cold, but it's absolutely gorgeous here. And I am wishing you a wonderful Wednesday here this January day in Southern California, wherever we find you around the world. Looking at our statistics, I get really amazed at there's a ton of people, of course, here in Southern California watching Friedman Adventures, but we are seeing people all over the United States watching the morning briefing and all our other shows. And then you start to see stuff like there's some guys in Russia, Saudi Arabia, Canada, Costa Rica, Mexico Lindo. It's crazy when you look at the analytics about where Friedman Adventures is being viewed. And you know who I owe that to? I owe that all to you. Have a great morning. Thanks for joining us. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.